have to remove that. Okay, we're back to the sculpting part. I should have... Wait. Now we're back. Is everything working? Okay. We're back with this guy. Echo. So yesterday I decided to reboot this shell plate that I had done because I didn't like what I had done before. I instead of doing 2 rows in here, I had made some really long ones that went all the way down here. This plate in the brim also had to sort of stretch to meet the other ones in the middle. It was all wrong. I feel like this is a bit more organic. It already looks better from most angles. I should now mirror them. Now that they are more or less in place, I might have to make some adjustments, but in general this is what they're gonna be. I'm going to give them a little texture like I did with these. It's not gonna be they're not gonna be this straight looking. I don't know if here I deformed this too much and it's not meeting in the center as they should here. I'm gonna keep adjusting things in this plate, but maybe not now. I really wanted to try doing the scales in the legs today, something that I've been postponing for a while. It felt like the next logical step to actually do some better texturing on the actual character. Did I do that without symmetry on? Great, 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 great. Now I have to flip it and mirror and weld it. Now it's on. Okay. I was thinking, I always set this part, I set the category to art, but when I checked the actual sculpture, not sculptures, the actual ZBrush streams, they set the category to like talk show and podcast or something. I don't know why, instead of art. Wait. Am I? Mirror and weld, okay. Oh. I don't know if that would be more convenient. Again, I heard on Reddit, I heard horror stories of overzealous like Twitch employees for some reason take it upon themselves to report you because you're in the wrong category or something, like you are trying to deceive anyone. So I'm always really scared to not be in the right category. When I did some video editing, I didn't know what to set it to. Why is the freaking sea, the freaking remesh so against the shapes? It should be more natural. Okay, that's too low. This, right, it should flow the shapes better. I don't know if I should set... I just set it to the very generic art. Did I? Wait, did I change it? Yes. But it's weird that the sort of main... the actual headquarters of the freaking sculpting streams, the actual ZBrush. Now I've seen that they finally dropped the Pixelogic thing, and now they made it max on ZBrush. It's really the end of an era. I was just wondering the other day if they had kept the brand Pixelogic for some reason, and now I see they've changed it to just Maxon. But they are like the headquarters of freaking 3D sculpting streams, and they set the streams not to art but to talk shows and podcast or whatever the hell the category is. Felt so strange to me. I don't know if I should try it. I heard also that I could just set it to just chatting, just talking, just what the hell is it called? And but that also might attract those characters that report you for being in the wrong category, and apparently just chatting also attracts some weird people. I already had some weird episodes these days, nothing too serious, but people who are just probably unattended children and come here to roast me because I'm doing something wrong. I think I haven't been very rude, but I can't be too welcoming to a newcomer when their first line is either mock me for the tags that I'm using or stuff like that. I feel like they're not being friendly. I don't know how to be friendly. I was raised by wolves to begin with, but I can't be very friendly when people show up and their first instinct is to sort of mock me for one thing or another. Again, nothing too bad, nobody's been terribly aggressive, but I don't know, is that someone's idea of their first interaction with someone they've never met, to just sort of make fun of them for something they're doing wrong? I'm just starting this, I don't know if I'm going to keep it up. But it's really weird. I've had this really odd interactions with a couple people that I've just come here to. Be strange. I know it's hard. I don't know what to say to people a lot of the time. That's why I lurk in most communities. I'm not very actively watching too many people nowadays. Ain't nobody got time for that. But yeah, I'm a chronic lurker. mostly because even online social interaction is kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know, I had this people. Should I make it a bit more flat? Like these are a bit more sort of integrated. They're not sticking out so much, each of the layers. I think it's just that one. These are a bit more sort of flat already. Hello? I still don't know what am I even going to call this guy. As I said before, I wanted to reference a turtle character for a thing that I wanted to do 1,000 years ago that I ended up calling something like Panga because of I wanted to somehow reference Pangaea. I don't know why. Um, so I wanted to call him something like that. I think I had come up with, in some version of the screenplay I called it Pangaro, which right now I don't even like. But looking for reference that I didn't necessarily use because it was a sea turtle. I went looking for the Ray Harryhausen sort of big giant turtle in Million Years BC or one of those movies, and it turns out it's a real prehistoric turtle called. That's a problem. I don't know if it's pronounced Archelon or Archelon, but I kind of like that. And for now, I have been using it as a sort of temporarily the sort of work title, work name for this guy. I'm saying Archelon. It's probably Archelon because it's a Chelonius. But I like that more than the Pangaro thing that I had come up with for one of the whatever version of the screenplay I'm on right now. I hate spending too much time making little adjustments and feels like I'm not making any progress, but really this is stuff that I better do now or I'll regret later, in the same way I remade this plates entirely because I wasn't happy with what I had done before. Whoops, that was a bit of a glitch in my screen. I don't know if it affected the stream. I'm gonna check as soon as I'm done with this. I have a lot of things going on. Okay, this stream looks okay. And now I have hiccup. Great. That's a wonderful thing. I'm so not used to talking so much. It's very strange, it's very alien to me. I remember when I make the wrap up video for my daily challenge, I have to record like a narration and I just improvise it. I don't script it or anything. I just play the finished montage and I just talk over it. and then I make a lot of adjustments and editing. But I mean, in general, I just wing it. Uh, and it's like talking non-stop for 20 minutes. And a lot of times I end up losing my voice because I'm so not used to talking non-stop for 20 minutes. And I think here I take some little breaks maybe every now and then, which probably makes a bit of a difference, and it's a little bit of a actual rest. My voice, my chords, my whatever. It's like a little break. But for those narrations that I really have to talk about the 30 pieces that I've done in the 30 days of a month, I really don't stop. And I do it all in one take, and sometimes I have started and it has not worked and I've dropped it and I've continued, or I started over an entirely different day, because if that's really the way I like doing it. I like just doing it in one take, one day. But I generally end up losing my voice. I'm that not used to talking without stopping. And it's only around 20 minutes. Here I'm talking for hours, but again, I feel like the little breaks that I take make a bit of a difference. I talk for 3 or 4 hours, but I do take little breaks. I just stop talking, my brain sort of shuts down. And I think that helps. I should have done this earlier. I should have done this as soon as I made these plates. This sort of little adjustments here, for them to fill and connect better. They're not fully connected, and there's like a big gap everywhere that probably isn't too true to life. Again, I'm not going for complete realism or anything. This character looks pretty straightforward right now, but it's ideally going to be more of a character. I was talking about that yesterday, and I think I mentioned it before. I'd like to do something to make it, again, a little bit more of a character and less like an animal. But I don't want to give it like any human features, or certainly not clothes or any sort of accessories. Are these? Yeah. Wow, these are really kind of a high subdivision level, and they're still sketchy in a lot of places. I don't know if I should make this symmetric. I think I didn't originally, but right now that I'm correcting things, I might just this again, I don't know, this corner should be a bit more rounded to match this, or if the others around should be pointier. I don't want to have a very strange situation here of weird corners. Jesus, what did I do? I will never know what that tool is for. I wish they removed it. I always press... what is it? It's like E instead of when I'm trying to press R. I press either E or T or something and that frigging thing happens. I don't know what the hell is the point. I so wished it could be disabled or they just got rid of it completely, because what does it even do? Here again I have a similar situation. I have like very rounded corners here, a very sharp one here. They don't meet in a very logical or even aesthetically pleasing way. This plate. But well, it's a kind of fine-tuning that I have to do when I've been making all of this kind of rough. Now it's time for the fine-tuning. Maybe this one should be a little bit softer, and this one is going to have to stretch here into a corner a little bit more. Just to meet the others more evenly in this space. Again, I want to have a sort of a gap between the plates. It's not that I want them to connect perfectly, but I do want them to connect better. Look at this here. This is again a kind of a mess. I made everything very rounded because it was kind of the idea, but some corners could have been sharper. This corner really has to come here. And better fill this gap. I like this character, I'm enjoying it so far, but I feel like I've been making such little progress because I'm like afraid of doing what I really have to do. That's really the heavy reptile skin texturing. Especially the next logical step for me was always doing the leg. And it's kind of tricky because if I think I'm gonna do... oh, I said I was going to research a little bit the mesh, mini mesh, multi-mesh, multi... I don't even remember what it's called. This is one tool that I have never used. That's supposed to be ideal for this kind of thing. But maybe not, because if I think it might make the scales too uniform. And that's the problem. They have to look like very organic and not uniform at all. And that's why I'm sort of scared, because if I'm just gonna make one, I'm gonna have to place one scale at a time, and I feel like it's going to be painstaking and annoying. It's the kind of thing that I cannot do right now with an alpha, as I probably will do the rest of the skin. Is symmetry on? Please tell me it's on. Was it here? Yes. I find it to be a real pain to do that texturing. I don't even know what the bitrate graph means in my stream manager thing, but at least it's all in the green, I think. It fluctuates a lot apparently, it's not very steady. I don't know how steady it should be. Here, I feel like these two scales should meet where these two meet, so to have like again a kind of a square thingy, but what even is this corner? What even is this side to this plate? I wish I had kept untextured version of this plates. I think I didn't anywhere. Jesus. I don't know if I should perhaps try to move this corner here again to have these 4 plates meet in the same place instead of these 2 here and these 2 here. Because again, I'm not going for any realism or anything, but precisely that there's like some organic thing that has to happen, that just has to work. No, damn it. I feel like this character is taking forever, and it's not even that long. Ergol took me 8 sessions. Of course, Ergol is the protagonist anyway, but I feel like I should have done. Oh no, did I mess up the material thing with these? Oh crap. They shouldn't look like this. They shouldn't look all white all the time. I'm still doing it. I don't... Why is that happening? I never know why it happens. Is it the material that's messing things up? How do I unify the material again? Without... Ideally without remeshing, because I have some sort of detail already going on. Am I gonna have to look for... Where's Unify? Try a tutorial.
Center your model and also change the size to a maximum XYZ size of 2. This is going to take the largest dimension here and set it to 2 on your model. So right now this is a cube, so you can see here we have the cube size here, size that's going to curve. Now I can draw that with the model too small version of this model. I have the simplified version. I have one that is very small. I just did a nice model. So one. If I want one, I can be able to use that again.
I don't know if this is what I'm looking for.
Increase this draw size even up to 1,000, but still I'm only getting a very tiny effect.
This is an old tutorial which
Once again, I
work.
have to disable that dynamic draw size there. Now I can sculpt like so, but it's not going to let me use a lot of that functionality that I like with that app. Now another thing to notice that
Again, I fucked up. Okay, I think that fixes it, but how do I not make it again? I don't want to change anything with this with these brushes. God damn it. Am I done anyway with what I was adjusting? I think not. I don't even know where I was. I was trying to make these things connect better. This maybe should come further here into the corner. This maybe could be a little pointier here. Here, it should probably fill this gap a little bit better. Here it's kind of weird that I feel like this shouldn't work like bricks. This kind of connection of 2 on top of 1 here. This sort of T. It should be more excess. But I'm not redoing this again. No. That's kind of a problem with working on all of these plates sort of separately, then they don't connect wonderfully. But what you gonna do? I kind of make everything at once. And I can't do like some weird procedural thing anyway. I haven't even tried to do like a quick, like I did with Archelon. That in the very first session I already took it to keyshot to see what it would look like in colors. Not like this. But I did like a very quick paint job to see what it might look like. And with this guy I haven't even tried, but because I really think, well, for starters, it really needs more work in the actual texturing. For God's sake, please change to the brush that I'm trying to change and disable symmetry for a second. Enable it back on because I know I'm going to forget it, and leave it off. Please. Draw size, okay. I'm so incompetent a lot of the time. Who's online today? I should be... I'd rather be watching someone else than doing this. Is there anyone I know online? I don't like... I like that I broke the symmetry with this, but not quite the way I did it. It's a bit too much. It ended up looking wonky. This even lost sort of hexagon quality that it should have. I deformed it so much. Again, for the sake of it looking less perfectly symmetrical all of the time, everywhere, and a bit more organic, but I ended up overdoing it in some places, and I want to restore a little bit of the geometrical thing that I originally intended. And I keep stalling anyway, because I don't want to... I don't quite dare to try and do the scales in the legs. I know I'm gonna do them and hate them and redo them, and I'm never gonna make any progress. I'm already kind of cursed with this character. It's really turning out to be slow as a turtle. I'm making very little progress, very slowly. Okay, that's a bit too... it should be softer. Maybe this one should stretch here a little bit and meet the others. Better, this is sort of irregular here. I want to keep this little gap between the plates anyway. I don't necessarily want for everything to connect perfectly, but Again, it has to be sort of organic. It has to give the illusion of it being somewhat organic. Okay, that's weird. I don't want to curve this too much here, but I want to feel that this gap a little better. Did that sink it too much? It's just a touch here, just a nudge in there. I'm not even sure of where I already went. But well, yeah, this looks very weird. This looks like it needs some adjustment. This here too. This corner should be sharper to be a little bit more like the others, or at least more like this one. These two can meet here or anywhere they want, but at least for these two to match and these two to match each other. I don't know if these are too far. I think I've made this kind of corner tighter in other places. Again, I still want it to be rounded, but I've ended up leaving too much of a gap between them. I want to soften a little bit this side of the plates. Just a little. For the sake of it texturing and making it more organic. I think I've overdone it in a lot of places. I don't want to go back and make everything completely smooth, but a little bit smoother really works better, I think. I should make it rough, but rough in the wrong places looks wrong. I applied the sort of crumple brush too evenly, too carelessly, and now I have to face the consequences of having ruined some edges. I don't know if I should do something to this brim. It looks too stupidly smooth, or maybe I should just remove it or sort of weld it to this other part and then make it smooth and not just like a completely cut different shape. I'm gonna keep trying and doing and undoing things for a while with this guy, I feel like. I hope it won't take as long as Urkel, because after all, Urkel is the lead and this guy appears just in one scene and... Jesus Christ, I pressed F again, which also does this stupid shit. I don't know if this one should be pointier here a little bit. This could be a little bit softer here. The symmetry on, am I even doing the right thing in the right place? I don't know how these can be pointier without going too far. How about these? I don't know if I should make this corner here tighter, but in any case, I'm glad I'm doing this finally. I'd be watching YouTube right now if I wasn't doing this. Oh my god, my screen died. Did the capture die? Am I still capturing? Okay. That happened. Yesterday it stopped capturing completely, it just froze. I had to unplug it and plug it back in. Luckily it worked. It was a bit overheated, I don't know if that's what did it. I don't know if overheated, well, it was hot. The symmetry on, for the love of fuck. Where am I? Yes, there. These are some of the edges that I kind of ruined with the crumpling. I should be more quote-unquote careful. I don't even know which parts I've already gone through, because I jumped from one side to the other, and that's how I make stupid mistakes that end up in the finished thing that I overlook, because I go from one side to the other and I say I'll fix this later, and later I forget, later I don't see it. I don't see it until the final thing is rendered. The whole turntable animation, the whole beauty stills, everything is done, and only then I remember, oh, I was supposed to fix that. Only then I realize. Okay, I should look more carefully at all this. Sort of intersection here. Not intersections, they don't intersect. Well, all these places where the frigging things meet. Make it a little bit more even. I've been doing them. Again, in like two separate sort of batches, and they look uneven because they are uneven. In a way I want them to look, again, for the sake of them looking more organic. I don't want for things to necessarily look perfect, perfectly aligned or perfectly symmetrical or perfectly anything, but they look way too imperfect right now. It's one thing to have them try to look organic, and quite another that they look like a frigging mess. This one should maybe come here, further into the thing. Or this one should be a little bit sharper, instead of this round, so very round. Be more of a corner. Maybe this one too. To look a little bit more even. Why is there such a big gap? I think this is the one that's really asymmetric. There's a big gap here and there's almost no gap here. Again, for the sake of it looking organic or whatever, I tried for it to not be completely symmetrical, but when I do things like this, it's a bit much. Again, this is the kind of thing that's probably not going to show much on the finished thing and on this screen. You're not going to see both sides of a character at once anyway, you're not going to be comparing them. But in general, I feel like it should look balanced, it should look organic, it should look like it's more or less the same all over. And all the plates connect more or less the same way. I don't want it to be a weird gap on one side and none in the other. It's like this here. What even is that? I think I've made it better here? Have I? Question mark? It's still a big gap. I don't know if this one should be... This point should meet better. Symmetry on. There's so many shows that I wanted to watch this second half of the year and I haven't really watched anything. I don't know why I only thought of that. I guess it has to do with what I was saying, that if I wasn't doing this right now, I'd be just watching YouTube. I waste so much time on YouTube now. Everyone makes videos that are no shorter than half an hour, so you watch a couple of videos and the whole hour is gone, and you feel like you haven't watched anything of all you wanted to watch. But of all the shows, I've only begun watching season whatever it is now of Chucky, and I didn't even finish it, and it's not even finished. The second half of the season is coming only in like in January or something. Everyone has started splitting their seasons in two now. I didn't even watch this year's again whatever number season was of What We Do in the Shadows, which was one of the few shows that I used to watch regularly. Invasion came back and I started watching and I fell asleep. And I didn't continue again. I wasn't even counting on it. I didn't even think or know it had been renewed or anything. I really liked it, but I mean I didn't know. It came out of nowhere. It was back. And I tried to watch. That one time I tried. And fell asleep and didn't go back. This corner here is very annoying. I don't know if I should make this guy sort of come here in a more rounded way, and this guy, and also sort of here. Here I'm talking to you. I still feel bad for not being more friendly to newcomers. A couple of people came and went and didn't follow or anything. But really, one guy comes contradicting me, saying, oh, the bitrate's really down, it's in the red. Is it still working? I don't know what to do. OBS says it's fine. Twitch. For Twitch it's in the red right now. I don't even know. Is it still working? Am I still on? I can't even check because I have no load the stream. I don't know. I hope it'll get better. I don't know why it's in the red right now. My provider is not great. It's better than the one I used to have, and with the one I used to have I couldn't even stream. That's why I'm streaming now, because I can. I suddenly can. The absolute novelty of being able to stream just made me want to. Why does this one look so shit? Jesus. What? Ah, not again. I don't know why I sunk this part of a plate deep into the second layer. But I've done it in all of them. All of the spinal ones anyway. What just happened? Something moved. Am I back in the green? Now I'm back in the green. It went really low for a while. The bitrate in my stream manager. I don't even know if I should pay attention to that, because in any case my internet is what it is and I cannot fix it. When it dips, it dips. But well, I just wanted to see if the stream had been interrupted altogether because of that. Again, I had the idea of perhaps adding like some crystals in the shell to make it more like the magical character that this guy is supposed to be. Right now it's just a big turtle. It's not even big necessarily, nothing necessarily conveys that it's a big one. That's also something that I'd like to look into to see if the Galapagos, for example, have like some specific features that make them look bigger. The ones that I could think of, it's not something that I necessarily want to give this guy, like a very small head. I think I tried it early in the beginning and I didn't like it. I realized, well, Galapagos are like this. It's like the one thing that would probably convey size, and the fact that the head is small should sort of indicate that the body is really big. A bigger head makes characters sort of cute, and this guy doesn't need to be cute. But I didn't really think it worked when I tried giving it the small head and at the end of a very long neck. It just looked kind of silly instead of really conveying size and whatever I was trying to convey. Maybe I could try again because I didn't even have much of a head. Back then I only had a sort of placeholder thing. If I just for experimenting with this, what would happen if I actually made the head smaller? Oh, the tongue is still very big. Merge down with the tongue. See, a very big head is sort of cute. It looks smaller. Probably the neck should be shorter. But no, if I tried a smaller head, I think now it kind of works better than when I tried earlier. Of course, I'd have to adjust the neck. When I first tried, it made no sense. It looked really silly. Now I feel like it gives a bit more of an idea of size. Because really, proportionally, giant turtles have, and tortoises have relatively small heads. Proportionally to the body. Would this be better? I think so, question mark, but I'm not that convinced. I was kind of fond of this, but logically it makes more sense for the neck to be really long, the head to be smaller for a giant turtle. This bothers me so much from afar, I don't know. I don't know if it's this gap here that should be. I left no gaps between the spinal ones, so I don't know if I should stick to the gap thing among the others, but anyway, this one's very regular again because of the crumpling. That's the problem with the crumpling. I ruined a lot of the shapes, and that's why I regret not saving the unaltered version of this. I could do them again, but it's kind of a pain. I don't want to redo that also. I had another glitch in my screen. I don't know if that's happening on the stream. Well, is the stream still working? What time even is it? I have 1 more hour roughly to stream today. Maybe I should give it a go and try. And try to do the legs sort of scales. It's kind of a problem. I have never done anything quite like this. Every professional sculptor has done this of sculpting individual scales and do it wonderfully and quite organically, and they have millions of polygons worth of detail in their sculpts, but also I wonder how am I gonna do the poly painting in this, because I'd like to also emphasize the idea of layers and the I don't know if I could do something like the rake but in color, like something like this but softer, to sort of already in the painting giving it, I mean not as rough as this, but to give also the idea of more layers and more, you know. This is a very stupid, very rough kind of paint job, but just to see what it would look like. Obviously I'm not going to do it on white, but I don't know. Why did I even think of a tortoise? I love them. I had tortoises all my life, but it comes with so many problems. TBH. I don't know if I can use this to model maybe the scale that I need. What? No, symmetry. Has to be sort of flat but not really. and I have to make it so I can layer it. Again, I should have done this with micro mesh or one of those nano mesh. I don't even know how nanomeshes work. But again, I feel like the problem with nanomesh is that it's probably going to make it too what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Jesus Christ, what is my brain? It's going to make it look too uniform. Like every scale the same size and the same distance from each other and the same everything. And I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for something again more organic. I'm gonna try this just for the sake of trying. I'm gonna turn this into a brush. I'm going to brush, create insert mesh, new brush, and I'm gonna try it right here. I'm probably gonna have to adjust the depth. I should go from the bottom up, right? Covering the ones below. Okay, this looks promising. For just a test. Looks very promising. I'm going to save this brush as Archelon scale 1. I think that's very good. If I could really pull it off like that in the leg, I think it could look very good. But I'm not gonna, cause it's. Can I blip blop delete the lower subdivision? I don't really care. So should I start in the? Where should I start? That's kind of the problem that it gets. Maybe I can make it uniform and then sort of make it larger here in the center where they should be larger. Let's work how the nanomesh thing works. I have no idea how it works. It'd be huge if I could get this done today. It's insane that I had never ever used the nanomesh tool. And I'm always trying to learn everything there is, the basics of everything. And I'm always trying to use and apply new techniques. Especially when I do my daily challenge. I try to at least once in the whole month learn and try and apply a technique that I have never used before. I don't know if the stream is still running. I hate leaving these pauses because later I have to edit them out of the time lapses, but I want to learn how the freaking thing works. I should have done it offline, but micromesh and nanomesh. Oh, there is a micromesh. What is the difference? This is from 2 years ago. Nanomesh comes with the placement mesh. Click brush, create nanomesh brush. Okay. I have already saved the brush and I've said I didn't think brush create. I didn't think it was a whole thing on its own. Create nanomesh brush. Oh no, not from that. Not from this shape. What did I do? The nanomesh will be created. It's been created from press the M key at any time to display the 3D models. That's a nanomesh. Yeah, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted... crap. I fucked up already. This I wanted. Let's go back to before I did that. Now, here facing forward. Brush, create nanomesh brush. M. There, I have created that. If the nanomesh brush has been created from an AEmilius brush, press the M key, okay. Optionally, save your brush for later use. Please refer to the C modeler documentation, blah blah blah. What do I do now that I have the brush? Does it do anything? No, it doesn't. Do I have to go here to nanomesh? What does that do? Okay. Now that I have placed it, does that do anything? Bigger than that. Well, maybe not that much. Now what the hell do I do? I change the size, length. Why is it not symmetric? Uh-oh. No, no random distribution. Why can't I? God damn it. How does one use nanomesh? Okay, I have under an hour. What version of ZBrush is this? There's physics simulation. Does ZBrush do that now? I haven't updated mine in several years. Okay, this is not really helping me. I should have done this in my spare time, not now. What does this do? What's a micro mesh anyway? I keep hearing about that and I don't see anything but this. Okay, this is not really working. Okay, yeah. No, I know that. If I do like a... what? No. Is that too high up? Should I have made it... yeah, probably I should have made it with a slightly lower resolution when I made the brush. The hell am I looking for? This? I like that test, I'm gonna keep it. But this I'd like to... I should lower the resolution a bit, because after too many scales it's going to be too many polygons. Do I have the actual count for this? Yeah, for this subtool alone? I should have thought of that first. Okay, no harm done. I can try again. Do this as insert. Want create brush, create, insert mesh. New one. Then adjust the depth to 0, maybe lower than 0. Let's try it right here again. Let's try it in the bottom, and then I think it works still. It's gonna look interesting and organic, ideally. I'm gonna save this brush as Archelon scale 2. Is this too big? Yes, it's absolutely too big. Again, the back of the leg should have maybe a bit of a more procedural or a sort of a texture that I will just do with an alpha, but here in the front is where I want it to look more organic, and with this big kind of scales that these guys actually do have. It's kind of a pity that I have to start from the bottom. That's always gonna happen. I might gonna have to later fix the individual ones. In this angle, that's a problem. There's also the angle. I don't want to have to fix the placement of every individual one. I'd like to place them correctly just once and forget about it, at least for the time being. If I make it from above, what is that angle? Why are you doing that? Oh, because I'm pressing shift instead of control. Idiot. Those really don't start here. There's the kind of shoulder there. It's more of just a forearm. Or whatever the equivalent is in this case. I always wanted for some kind of spray brush to just spray shapes into place. Well, again, that's kind of the idea. Okay, the brush is kind of working as intended, and the scales are sort of interacting the way they should. Again, this is a thing that I knew the moment I tried it I was going to try once and not really gonna like it, and try again and again. But at least I'm glad I'm finally doing it. I knew that the moment I tried it I wasn't going to be happy with them, but I've been postponing it for long enough. This is a kind of thing that I come back and redo later because I was really unhappy with the result. Already happened with the plates. Of course it's gonna happen with these scales. Oof. Why are you doing that in such a strong angle? Such a weird angle. Okay, forget about it. Then maybe I'm still making them very uniform when they should be larger. Go from smaller to larger to smaller again. Once I align them, I might be able to separate them and sort of inflate them when they're where they need to be. That's all this test is about. Again, well, maybe I should cover this too. But it's going to have a different type of scale in this, and it's going to meet these others. But I really want for these to be like this, sort of sticking out. And sort of big, actual individual scales that you can see that it's an actual surface made of these actual shapes, and not just a flat thing with a texture that's meant to look like scales. I wanted to really be scales that really are there. I'm applying less and less regular ones as we go down the leg. Not quite intentionally. I'm doing what I can right now with this. Again, maybe the tips should stand out a little bit more. I might have to fix that with the maybe redoing the brush or adjusting the brush. This is not looking too great right now. I don't even know if it's gonna meet this in the bottom correctly. But at least it's kind of working better than I thought it would for the first test. For the first attempt. Oh. Here I should make them smaller already. But it's already gonna look so irregular. Whoops, another weird glitch in my... I don't know if it's capturing or streaming well. I think it's fine. I hope it is. I should not have done this with symmetry, well I can always delete it. I don't know what I'm doing, this is not gonna work. I'm gonna have to make a whole row here of... I'm gonna have to adjust a whole row here. I hate eyeballing shit. That's why I wanted to do this with with nanomesh. But again, it would have been too uniform. I don't know how the fuck to use nanomesh, clearly. I looked at the tutorial and I still didn't quite get it. There must be a reason why I've never used it. But again, really, this should look more organic. If it looks too uniform, it's gonna be very weird. I'm gonna have to go back and manually adjust like a lot of individual scales here. What have I done? Well, I probably just wasted a lot of time in today's stream that I didn't mean to waste, but this had to be done at some point. I had to try it, I had to test it, I had to go for it. And I did today. And it is, whatever, but it kinda had to be done. Oh, wrong direction. I'm gonna save just for the sake of frigging save. What? Oh my freaking god. Of course it crashed. Be right back. Okay, for now I seem to have recovered it, but probably it was faulty. I'm going to crash again. Oh, this is an unused jaw. In the original size, this is the sort of pendant thing that I might not use. What size of brush was I even using? This looks too big. This looks too small. Is it 30? Why I never pay attention to that. I always end up needing to resume something and I don't even remember what size brush I was using, and I have to eyeball it again. How? If there's one thing I keep saying is how much I hate to eyeball anything. I don't know if that works. Split, 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 split. Similar parts. It's going to separate the legs from the scales. Now I have the scales in its own tool thingy. Might have to add one or two somewhere. Again, the rest of the leg is going to have another type of scale in the texture. Is the stream still normal? I will have around half an hour to go. More. I'd like to try different kind of adjustments for this. I don't know if I should maybe make a row of scales here too. Oh, there went my screen again. I don't know if it's the capture card or what the hell happened. Is the stream still working again? Do I have to keep checking? My screen sort of flickered and I don't know if it's just my screen or the stream as well, so I have to check. Again, it looks very uniform, which is what I didn't want. But if I do a little thingy, I'm going to have to adjust again the ends and the tips of a lot of individual scales. But I'm going to delete by symmetry and export to Sculptress. That's gonna be a lot. I don't know if Sculptress is going to be able to handle it. So far so good. In Sculptress there's the scale brush, and I can, no pun intended, I can do this and have this in this area look bigger, sort of grow, maybe shrink this a little bit, and it already looks a lot less uniform. This is the dumbest way probably to do this, but it's what I could think of right now. I don't freaking know. Now we go back to ZBrush. Hopefully it won't crush. Where did the back legs go? That's not what I intended. What is happening? Dog is barking. Should we save this anyway? Okay, What even is that? No. Why is that doing? Is it doing it with the hind legs? In any case, I should duplicate them, because it really wants to mess up with the back legs. There, I beat the system. I don't know why is it doing that. Why is there really a subdivision to this? No, I don't want them to be super high. Now I can always deform the whole thing. Ideally not too much, because I'm going to make a freaking mess, but there's that. And I could, if I wanted to, and I probably do want to, move around individual scales to make adjustments, to make the tips stick out in certain layers. Which I will proceed to do right now, at least. Did I save it as a different thing? Because just in case it's still somehow corrupted and it's going to crush again. See, if I use the move tool, I move the whole thing and deform it uniformly. I have to make sure it's really, after I deformed it in Sculptris, I have to make sure it's not hovering away from the leg. I could still apply and add more individual ones, maybe even remove some if I wanted to. For some reason, if I wanted to inflate them, I could. I probably shouldn't. Maybe there I could. Maybe here I can. Maybe here to ensure it feels more. Just one touch, one touch. Again, I might have to add some individual scales here and there, which I can very well do. But again, around this area, I'd like to make them maybe even bigger. I don't want to move to Sculptris again. It was lucky that it didn't crash. I might save this just in case. And now it's gonna be a long... I think I might keep this. I'm not I don't feel like I'm going to try to do this again. I doubt it'll come out much better than this. What is this looking like? Why are this still inverted? Let's save. Thank God when it crashed I could recover the thing, because sometimes it does like an autosave, like a safety save, and sometimes those save files are corrupted and not recoverable. But lucky I could save this, because I'm kind of liking it. I always knew this was going to be tricky, that's why I've been kind of avoiding it, installing with other parts. Again, here, this part of the leg is going to have a different kind of scale, a different kind of textures. I think the hind legs don't really need this kind of scales. It's really the sort of, I keep calling them forearms, that have this kind of heavy texture of big individual scales that really stick out. And that's what I should do next. Make them really stick out. Make the layering better here. Maybe I should make it from the bottom up. From around this this row. These are really bigger. Hopefully it's going to look really organic. Not too uniform. Oh. Well, I could lower you and rest that one. Here it doesn't matter so much that this kind of overlap, I feel like. But here, this is really what I wanted. This is the look that I was going for. These scales that really separate, that really stick out. They really do look like what they are, individual scales that have been placed one by one. It's not super uniform. That's I think that's pretty good. Question mark. I don't know. I'm all that convinced with how it ends here. I'm obviously going to make something here. I'm going to sculpt a little. I had tried it before and I don't know why I didn't like it and I had to undo it. And I'm going to make like a little build up here around the nails. Obviously the nails are not going to just stick out of a flat surface. Oh, another glitch in my screen, I hope. The stream is fine. Is it? Hello? Looks fine. What? Well, this is a dumb way to do this, but that's how we do things around here. The way we fucking can. So too big for relatively small nails. I should subdivide this anyway. Maybe I should here adjust this little scales that are sinking in the skin. Because this sort of overlap in a weird way and I don't mind, but the ones that end here should either be smaller shorter, more round, less pointy. In any case, they shouldn't look like they're sinking in the flesh. This is most irregular and not ideal, probably, but I also feel like it kind of works. Not exactly as intended, but what time is it? I have 15 more minutes. For these scales to look, again, more sort of organic. You know, when it's a bullshit fantasy turtle. A lot of this is a fucking mess. Oh, there goes my screen again. Is the stream still on? Yes. My screen keeps glitching and I don't know, it goes blank for a while. And I don't know if that's affecting the stream. That's why I always have to check. I don't know how the transition here with the other scales is going to work. I might have to make my own alpha, I might have to do something. This one here looks too curvy. It's not like that, they should be a bit more flat. I like the idea of this. It's not. It still looks a bit uniform and a little bit flat. I want it to be more of a texture, more like standing out, sticking out. Scales. I don't want that from this angle. You see so much of the skin. It should overlap better. Well, I might redo this whole thing tomorrow, no, Monday. But well, I had to give it a try. I had to test this kind of thing. Sooner or later I was going to have to try. I was going to have to go for it. Again, I keep wanting for it to have a more organic sort of shape. For them to sort of stick out the way they do in the real guys. Maybe I should sync this a bit more so it integrates. Sink into the leg so it sort of integrates a bit more. Again, the leg is going to have its own set of scales. We'll have hiccup again. I really need to remember to go back to the VOD and try to clip when the textures glitched out in Tomb Raider 3. I haven't been making a lot of clips of the streams. I did do highlights of the entire ergol process, and I think those aren't going to expire the way the VODs do. Anyway, I did upload them to my YouTube anyway, because I wanted to keep them because Archelon is important as being the sort of lead character of this. This looks very strange without a texture. I don't know if I should. This is just a test. But this is a scaly, a wrinkly sort of texture, not scaly, but well, let's say for the sake of whatever that this is something that could go together. And maybe with a different alpha. There are alphas here that can dupe us scales. Maybe with a higher intensity, a bigger focal point. I should try to do something like that, a combination of this kind of wrinkles with scales on. Again, I'm just testing what it could look like. It's not gonna be really like this, but I'm gonna save probably a render of this to put it like it was today's sort of progress, but again, this is too uniform, and it's not what I want necessarily, but it's for the sake of exploring what to do with this. Because again, the leg should have its own sort of scales apart of these big ones that I just applied. I'm gonna make like a close-up sort of render of these. I'm gonna again, this is just for a sort of a test. I'm gonna render this and say this is what I did today, and it is. It's not definitive or final or anything. I should probably do some texture here because it shows there. Again, I'm not super happy with this. It's not great, it's not perfect, it's not quite what I was going for, but it's a thing. I like that I've done it. I have a few more minutes, but I think I'm gonna end it here because I have some posts and things to do. I wasn't going to, but I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna go back to the these basic ones. Basic legs. I have to go back to texturing the plates again, the new ones. But I really wanted to finally get into the legs this time. It's something that I've been sort of dreading because I knew it was going to be hard. But it's I'm kind of glad that I finally made a decent attempt. Again, I'm not going to keep these scales as they are. I'm going back to the original legs and I'm going to apply them better than this. but I'm glad I gave this a first try today. Okay, that's it for today. I should be back tomorrow for just an hour or an hour and a half of Tomb Raider before Phil Jameson starts his stream. There, we're going over to him. This was it for today. I finally got out of Aldwych with Lara, and I did a lot of adjustments here in the shell, and I did the brush for these scales, and it's starting to look more like this smooth thing that I did. I don't know how exactly am I going to texture the neck, but I will texture the whole thing, and then it's just poly painting it, and well, the head is also so not done yet, but this is what we have, this is where we are. We'll be back on Monday for more sculpting, tomorrow for more Tomb Raider. Thank you for coming. Tired IB, you were probably gone a long time ago. See you guys around tomorrow on Monday for more sculpting.